Hope you're doing wonderful today, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is for you. It's morning here in Utah, in the USA. And it's a beautiful morning. We had rain last night, so it's really beautiful and green. Today we are going to practice a hip opener flow. I love the hip opener flow because it also invites us to open our hearts, to open our minds, to open our whole being up, to be more open to new possibilities, to things that we don't know, and just to be more humble and open and receptive. So let's begin. Closing our eyes, feeling the earth below, and taking a moment to bring all that attention inward. This practice, our yoga practice, is a time to be with ourselves. So gently closing our eyes and bringing the awareness inward, noticing our own being, just checking in for a moment. What's it's like inside, the energy being, the emotional being, the physical being, all aspects of ourselves. With no judgment, just observation, just noticing. Here we are right now. And taking a moment to affirm to yourself that you're here for you in a loving and compassionate way. No judgment, no criticism. You're just here for you, fully present during this time. And I invite you now to set an intention for yourself, for this practice, or for this day, maybe for this year. Maybe you have a special goal that you're trying to attain. Setting that intention out into your heart, out to the universe, for you. And then beginning to breathe into the belly. And as we go through the practice, we'll be breathing into our belly. We may also be engaging the bandhas. We have 3 bandhas. We have the Mula Bandha, which is the pelvic floor. So we're going to be lifting and engaging, gently engaging that pelvic floor for the Mula Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha, we're going to engage that belly and we're going to bring that belly up. So we still can breathe into that lower abdomen. Charandala Bandha, the chin comes in a little bit and the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. So we engage these bandhas so we seal in the energy as we hold the poses and as we increase the prana in the body. And I also invite you can gently open your eyes now. If you haven't already, I invite you to honor your body. If there's a pose that's a little difficult, you can modify it. If you're tired and you need a break, you can always just sit in a seated position or lay down. So just know that to honor your body, if you ever get into a place of pain, always back off. Yoga is not about pain. We like to play the edge. So we like to bring in some effort. So I like to use a rubber band. So we're not going to stretch that rubber band out. So we're going to snap it or pull muscles. We're not forcing and striving in yoga. we're allowing the body to open. And we're also not, sitting on the couch eating potato chips either. This is a time to put forth some effort. So we're allowing the body to open. And we're putting forth some effort. We're going to find that edge where there's just that little bit of tension so that we're moving, we're growing, we're opening the body up, yet we're not going into pain and striving so much that we're forcing and stretching or pulling the muscle. So beautiful. So here we are. We're going to bring the feet together in Baddha Konasana. We're going to rock back and forth. Butterfly pose is a hip opener. And it's a really nice one. And then let's do our pelvic rocks here in our butterfly. Just making some circles with your body. And you can move the hands a little as you come back. Just feeling the sensations in your body. And remembering if you hit a nice spot, you can stay there and massage it. So listening to your body. And let's go the other direction now. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. Let's move the neck a little bit now. Staying in our Baddha Konasana. You can just kind of flap those. Slow down. And let's move that neck. So let's bring the chin forward. Let's bring that head back up and gently back. Let's bring it back to center. Let's move the head to one side. And the other side. Can gently engage those bandhas as we move through this. And let's bring it forward again. Let's do a little couple circles. Nice and slow. Aware of beautiful sensations in the body. Keeping that breath flowing. Allowing those bandhas to be gently engaged. And when you're ready, going to the other side. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. And let's move into our Baddha Konasana with a little forward fold. So we can really feel that hip opening. So we can hold those feet with our hands. We can even open those feet like a book a little bit. Bring them together on the ridges of the feet. We're going to inhale as we lengthen that spine. Feeling the head lifting up towards the sky, and then exhale, folding forward. And finding your edge here. Those hips are going to tell you that's just about enough. Let's take a nice deep breath on that edge. And then continue and see if you can fold forward just maybe even a micro movement more. And let's just hold this forward fold for a couple breaths, engaging the bandhas and breathing. Bring your awareness inward into sensation in the body, all your attention on yourself. Feel that opening of the hips as you allow the heart to open and the mind to open. Opening to new perspectives. Opening to more compassion and love. And on your next inhale coming up. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Our next hip opener is going to be hero pose. So we're going to come onto our knees. And this is one where we can use a block if you like. If we're up here on our knees, and what we can do with our hero pose is we can lift up, put that block right underneath, and sit on that block as we allow the feet to come out to our sides. Now, if you're really flexible and pretty flexible in this, you can just remove the block. And then the legs are out onto the side, and we're in hero pose. And we're just going to sit here, engage the bandhas, and take a few breaths. Diving the attention inward, allowing the hips to open, the heart to open, letting go of being right and allowing yourself to be, your heart to expand and to just be in love. Allowing your mind to release past any limitations and boundaries. Open up to more and more expansive possibilities. Breaking through any stuck belief systems we may be in, so our minds can be more free. And one more breath. Beautiful. And we're going to take those legs and bring them out in front of us. Nice wide legs. Let's move into a wide leg forward fold, and then we're going to move into a fire log pose. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine, and then exhale as we hinge forward. And you can start to bring the hands down onto the earth. Feel that hip opening. And when you find your edge, engage those bandhas and taking a few breaths. And you can flex and extend those toes and those feet for some more sensation. And breathe. And on your next inhale, coming out. Beautiful job. So we're going to move into our fire log pose. It's a little challenging, so do your best. And if you're not able to go into it, you can just do the half fire log. This is called Agnistanbhasana in Sanskrit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this left leg and we're going to bend it in. And if we can keep it parallel to the mat, the shin parallel to the mat, that's best. Bring that foot in closer. And we're going to take this right leg and we're going to stack it up so the ankles are aligned with the knees. Now, I'm not very flexible in this pose, as you can see. So you can put a blanket or a pillow or a cushion underneath here. And then we are going to flex the feet. Flex the feet. That block's not doing much because I'm so not flexible on this. And then we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, folding forward. And find your edge. Never forcing, just allowing the body to open. I can't hinge forward very much at all in this. I'm not very flexible in this pose. And engage those bandhas and let's take a couple breaths. And one more breath. Beautiful. Coming back to center. And let's release those legs. Let's bring them both out again. And we're going to do the same thing just on the other side. Balance ourselves off. Bring that right leg in and allow that right leg to be parallel to this long edge of the mat. And then we're going to bring the left leg and we're going to bring that ankle so it's right on top of the knee. And this ankle is underneath this knee. And again, if you want to put something under the knee, that helps. It helps a little more on this side. Tiny more flexible. Flex those feet. And bring the hands to the mat. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, folding forward a little bit. If you can't do this, the whole one, just do a half one. And engage those bandhas and breathe. Feeling nice opening of the hip. And on your next inhale, coming up. Beautiful job. And let's release those feet. Let's release the feet in front of us. And we're going to come up into a seated squat. So with this, it's great if you can get those feet and those heels down onto the earth. I have a little hard time. I'm not flexible in this one. Having the feet solidly on the earth and then just sitting in your squat. And we're going to engage the bandhas and breathe. Diving the attention inward. Feeling that hip opening. As you feel the hip opening, allowing the heart and the mind to open as well. Expanding to new expanses, deeper depths, freer. One more breath here. Beautiful job. And then bringing the hands down, coming onto your knees. And we're going to move into a frog. Mandukasana. Mandukasana. Frog. Love this pose. This is a real hip opener. Do your best again on this one. So you're going to Bring those knees out a little wider. Bring them out a little wider than the arms. And then we're going to take the feet out, the lower leg, the shins out a little wider than the knees. And flexing those feet and bringing them out wider. And here comes your hip opener. And we're going to hinge backward. Bring the buttocks back. Just resting on that edge, never in pain, but resting in the edge as you go back. Gauge those bandhas and breathe. Bring your attention inward. Noticing sensations in the body. If you need to put a blanket under your knees, you can do that. One more breath. Beautiful. Coming back up. Let's bring the feet back in, the legs. Let's bring the knees back together. Beautiful job. I'm going to move into our camel from here. So I'm going to go this way so you can see me a little bit better. Our camel, this is a hip opener, but it's a nice little back bend as well. So first thing we're going to do is tuck that tailbone under. So as we go into our back, we've opened up these lumbar vertebrae, so we won't be crunching them. Bringing the hands to the small of the back, opening up the shoulders, and going into a gentle back bend. Allowing the head to be in alignment with the spine. It's not dropping down, it's just in alignment with the spine. And then we want to bring the hips so they're right over those knees. That's going to open the hips. If you want to bring your hands down to your heels, I like to come up on my toes to bring those heels up a little higher. Heart is open, back bends are heart openers. And then move those hips forward so they're right over the knees. Engage those bandhas and breathe. Opening your heart. Back bends are heart openers. Opening the hips and the heart and the mind and the body. One more breath. Beautiful. And then coming up, bringing those hands to the small of the back. Coming all the way up. And let's go into our child's pose. And rest for a few breaths. Opening up the knees. Allowing yourself to just snuggle in between those knees. And whether you want the arms out in front or to the side. Taking a few moments to go deeply in and connect with your own self, your own being. And gently coming up. Child's pose, relaxation. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. Let's move into a little bit of cat-cow for some flexion and extension of the spine. Halloween cat as we round the back up, tuck the tailbone under, moving into our cow. We're going to arch the back, stick the tailbone out, lift the head, extension, and then flexion. Adding any extra movement, maybe making some circles, and coming back, from side to side. Listening to your body. what it means. And coming back to center. We're going to move into a low lunge. So open up the hands a little bit and let's take that left foot forward. And you can bring that right knee back a little bit. And we're going to be in our low lunge and we're just going to lunge forward, opening up that right hip. Move back and forth a little bit. A nice stretch and opening in that right hip. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. Now we're going to bring the intensity just a little bit. We're going to take this outer hand, this outer left hand, and we're going to bring it inside. So they're both inside to the right of the left foot in our blaster pose. And again, lunging forward. Feel that nice, deep hip opener. Breathe. Engage those bandhas and breathe. Noticing sensation in the body. Beautiful. And we're going to bring that hand back over. So we have both hands on either side. We're going to move into our pigeon. So we're going to take that front foot and we're going to bring it in front. If you can keep this front shin aligned with the front of the mat. For me, that's a little difficult. I need to bend it in a little bit. Bringing that back knee straighter, further back, leg further back. And inhale as you are lifting straight up. So we don't want to fall down on that hip. We want to lift and hold it straight up. Holding in this nice pigeon, beautiful hip opening pose. And if you'd like to come down on your pigeon, come down onto your forearms and relax your head. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. Beautiful job. And coming back up, all the way back up. Let's bring that left leg back into our table pose. And let's move on to the other side. So we're going to take that right leg up into a nice low lunge. You can bring that back knee back a little bit. If you need a blanket under your knee, please feel free. And let's just move in our low lunge. You can hinge forward a little bit for some extra stretch and sensation. Make some subtle movements if you like. Bringing all your awareness into that left hip now, stretching and opening as you invite the body, the heart, and the mind to open, to expand, engaging the bandhas and breathe. Beautiful. And to add a little intensity, we're going to bring that right hand in, and we're going to breathe. So both hands are to the left of the right foot in our blaster pose. Add a little intensity, and you can hinge forward and feel that beautiful hip opening in your blaster pose. Engaging the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's take that right hand out to the edge. And we're going to move into our pigeon. So taking that right leg, bringing it in front, bending the knee, and making sure the body is upright. Moving the hands a little forward, making sure you're not dropping over to that right hip. If you'd like to come down to the forearms, that's the invitation for an option. And engage those bandhas and breathe as you allow that those hips to open, to stretch, stretching the mind, stretching the heart, and breathe. And one more breath. And gently, kindly coming up back into table pose. And we're going to move into, we're going to be on the floor today. We're going to move into a down dog and a three-legged dog with our hip open. We did that yesterday. Just a nice way to really open up the hips. So we're going to curl those toes under, press into the hands and the feet, lift the buttocks, straighten the knees in our downward facing dog. Let's do a little walking the dog, stretch those calves. Head is relaxed. Beautiful. And we're going to go into three-legged dog. So let's take that left leg out first into three-legged dog. You bend that knee. We're going to open up to the left side. So feel a nice opening and stretch in those hips. A hip on the left side. Engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. And releasing that foot down. Beautiful. Good job. We're going to go to the other side, keeping that right leg out into three-legged dog. Both arms are solid and firm on the earth. Hands and fingers are spread out a little bit. We're going to bend that right knee and open up to the right side. One more breath. And bring that foot down. Beautiful. And let's come down and let's move back down into our child's pose. Relax for a little bit and allow yourself to just enjoy a little break. Bring all your attention and energy in towards yourself, your own being. coming up. We are going to move onto our backs. And I'm going to invite you, if you like, to do a few spinal rocks. It's a fun way to get onto your back and also gives those erector spinae muscles along your spinal column a nice massage. And only do this if you have enough cushion underneath you to do so. Otherwise, just come down slowly. Spinal rocks. And eventually coming all the way down. So you're laying on your back. Beautiful. And resting on our back. Let's go into a little bridge to start. Pressing into the feet, and let's go into a half bridge first. Just taking a couple breaths and noticing sensation. Breathing into the belly. Gently engage those bandhas. And coming down one vertebrae at a time. And we're going to go back up this time, and you can either stay in half bridge or you could go into a full bridge where we're going to arch that back, go into a little back bend. So we're going to press into those feet, lift the hips, begin to arch the back. Let's take the arms underneath us. You can clasp those hands underneath you. Come up onto the shoulders. Watch those knees so they don't spread apart. Imagine you're holding a block between them. And breathe. One more breath. Lifting up a little higher. And as you exhale, release those hands. Release those shoulders. Coming down one vertebrae at a time from the upper thoracic down to the lower and the lumbar. And feeling that sacrum and tailbone release. And then bring those knees into the chest to release and relax that lower back. And rock back and forth. And from here, we're going to move into our supine pigeon, supta. So we're going to take that right leg and we're going to rest the right foot on the mat. Right knee is up. I'm going to take the left leg and rest the left ankle and foot on the right knee. And then we're going to lift that right foot up, bring those hands behind the right leg, right below the knee on the hamstring, and gently bringing the leg into the body, pulling that right leg into the body, feeling that nice hip opener on the left side. I feel more in this supine pigeon than the regular pigeon. Feeling that edge, engaging those bandhas, and breathe. Feeling that opening all aspects of your being. And releasing that leg down. Beautiful. And we're going to switch legs. So the left knee is up, bringing that right foot to rest on the left knee, lifting the left foot up and bringing that left knee in towards the body. Feeling that nice stretch now on the right hip. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. Beautiful. And releasing that leg. Good job. And let's bring the legs up for a little inversion on the legs. You can flex and extend those feet. Noticing the sensations. And if you'd like to go into half shoulder stand here, you can either stay right here with this inversion. Your veins are getting the same beautiful benefit and relaxation. Or if you'd like to move into half shoulder stand, lifting those hips, bringing the hands to the small of the back, feet are right up above the head, engaging those bandhas and breathe. If you'd like to hinge over in plow, I like to keep my legs parallel to the floor rather than bringing the feet down onto the floor to protect this lower back here. Beautiful. Let's curl those legs in. And bring the hands down to the mat, nice and slowly curling back, down. And let's move into a little a fish pose. It's a nice counter pose for half shoulder stand. So my hands are flat on the mat, face down. And I'm going to bring a hand underneath each buttocks. And I'm going to bring those arms nice and snugly close to the body. And I'm going to press into those elbows and forearms as I lift that chest and the head up. And then gently allow the head to drop down. Open heart, back bend in the upper thoracic. Let's engage the bandhas and breathe in our fish. Asana. One more breath. Let's inhale, lifting up. And exhale, coming down. And we can release those hands from under the buttocks. Let's move now into a nice supine spinal twist. It's really nice to do this when we're laying down. So we can take that right knee up and come up on left leg is extended out. Come up on just an inch onto that left side. And then allowing the right knee to come over to the left. Left hand on the right knee, guiding that over. Right hand is out 90 degrees, and we're going to turn the head to gaze out over the right fingertips. And engage those bandhas and bring in the prana and the life force with the breath. Finding your edge. Enjoying the sensations of this nice deep twist. One more breath. And releasing the knee and coming back to center. And we're going to move on to the other side. So the right leg is extended straight out. Left knee is up. Going to come up onto that right side just an inch. Let the left knee come over to the right. Right hand on the left knee to guide it over. And bring in the left arm 90 degrees, gazing out over those left fingertips. Engaging those bandhas and breathe, diving into the beautiful sensations, enjoying being in your body, feeling the sensations, and breathe. And release that left leg, coming back to center. And we're going to move into a Supta Baddha Konasana, supine Baddha Konasana. So bring those feet up and bring them together and gently pulling them in towards the body, feeling that hip opening. And engage those bandhas and breathe. And releasing. Let's bringing one foot out at a time. Just opening and stretching one foot at a time. And then let's bring both legs out. A nice stretch of those inner thighs. We're all set up now for happy baby. Knees are in alignment with the armpits. Nice and wide. Let's bend those knees. Feet are facing the sky. And let's pull those feet and those knees down in towards the armpits. Feel a nice stretch in those hips. The lumbar, the small of the back, is resting on the mat. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. And then gently releasing that pull and just moving into happy baby. Rolling around, having some fun. So kick those feet and move them just like you did as a baby, exploring and creating naturally that embodiment. And releasing that and bringing the feet to the mat. The knees are up. We're going to move into a few releases and our Savasana. So we're going to begin with hula. Feel those two hips right where they are, right here. And we're going to swivel that right hip down towards the right heel. And the left hip is coming up towards the left armpit. The back doesn't lift up off the earth at all. And we're going to swivel. Nothing lifts up off the earth. We're flat on our back. Swivel those hips. Now that left hip is going down towards the left heel. Right hip coming up towards the right armpit. Feeling that swiveling motion. Moving back and forth at your own pace. Fully present to sensation. Nice, slow, repetitive movements as we release and relax all tension in that lower back, keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center, we're going to move into hip pointers. So now we are going to lift one butt cheek up at a time off the earth. So we're going to root that right butt cheek and right hip into the earth. And we're going to lift the left hip and point it. So the left butt cheek is going to come off the earth. Right is on. And we're going to point that left hip up towards the sky diagonally. Hip pointers. And release and relaxing the left down. And we're going to root the left on into the earth. And we're going to lift the right hip up and point that up towards the sky. And releasing that down. And going back and forth at your own pace, bringing all your awareness to the sensations in your body, the physical, the energetic sensations, keeping the breath flowing. And finishing up and coming back to center, resting on your back. And we're going to move now into supine cat cow. So let's go into our cat first as we're laying on our back. We're going to press the small of the back, that lumbar spine into the earth, tucking that tailbone under, flexion of the spine. And as we move into our cow, we're going to arch the lumbar spine up, tailbone is sticking into the earth. So you feel a nice arch. The spine is lifting up off the earth. And even if your back is still on the earth, the spine is lifting up. Extension. And moving back and forth in your flexion and extension, cat cow, on your back. All your attention on sensation and bringing in the prana and the breath. These deep flowing breaths. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. And now we're going to keep the knees up and we're just going to walk those feet further apart, wider and wider. They come out to the wide edges of your mat, as wide as you are comfortable. And let's drop one knee at a time into the center. Bring that knee back up. Then drop the opposite knee into the center and find your edge. Again, never forcing it, staying in the feel so good zone and continuing dropping one knee at a time into the center. Nice, slow, repetitive movements. Keeping that breath and that prana moving through your body. Breathing into the belly. And coming back to center. Let's walk those feet back together. And we're going to drop both knees to one side, lifting that top knee. Or if you'd like to move both knees at the same time from side to side and do more of a windshield wiper. Bottom knee comes up and over, becomes the top, and moving that top knee up and over, allowing the bottom leg and knee to follow. So they're both stacked. Or you like to just take both at the same time. Or going back and forth. Noticing sensation, keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center, and let's bring those knees into the chest, taking any other last little movement you need to make before we go into Savasana. So move into Savasana, laying out onto the floor. There's always the option to bring the legs up onto the wall. And if you can, just opening those palms up to the sky, bringing those feet a little further apart, arms a little further apart, and really sinking into the earth. Allowing all the muscles to release and relax. Releasing all tension, melting tension away. Feeling the bones relax. All the systems in the body releasing and relaxing completely. Even the nervous system, spinal column, the brain, relaxing the mind. Sinking deeper into the earth. And resting for a few moments in silence, allowing all the energies of this practice to integrate into your mind, your body, and your spirit. Beginning to take a few deep breaths into the lower belly. So come back, beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And stretch out the arms and the legs. Rolling over to one side or the other. And gently coming up to a seated position. Taking this moment to check in with yourself again. Notice the inner being, the inner aliveness. Maybe there's little shifts and changes from when you began practice. Maybe your emotions are a little calmer. Maybe more aliveness in the body. Sensing into your own beingness, noticing without judgment where you're at. And bring yourself back to that intention you set at the beginning of practice. Reaffirm that within your own mind and consciousness, with an open heart, open mind, open body. And we'll conclude the practice with a namaste prayer. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Ecstatic Yoga Hip Opener Flow. I am Grace, wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.